Hey everybody, welcome back into Divine Frequencies. It's your girl Evelyn Michelle, aka EM Divine, and today we're just gonna talk like no pressure, no rushing, just a little bit of reflection, okay? So let me start off by telling y'all my week. Oh my goodness, my week has been so crazy. Like I am so tapped out and mentally, not emotionally, mentally drained right now. It's not even funny. Some stuff happened at my job that really made me pause and think about my safety. Nothing against my company at all. Like, I love the company that I work for, but it did make me realize something about myself. I am not a fighter. I don't like chaos. I don't like confrontation. And being in an environment where I felt uneasy, even for a moment, it really made me ask myself, is this the kind of energy I want to be around every day? That alone was heavy to sit with. Okay, heavy. Whew, child. I don't know what was in the air this week, but I'm just like, people were so mean. And I don't understand it because, look, holiday season, I understand that it can be stressful, but I really love Christmas. I'm not going to lie. Now, I'm not somebody who ever really gets anything that she wants for Christmas. You know, I'm usually like hustling and bustling, and I want to make sure everybody else's holiday feels just as magical as I think they are to the best of my ability. And sometimes I can make that happen, and sometimes I can't. But, you know, I don't know. I still love the holidays because it reminds me of hope. Christmas is so my favorite. I just love it. The Hallmark movies are out. People are smiling. I'm smiling. And, you know, I just think some of the most magical things happen Christmas time. I know this sounds crazy, but I still believe in Saint Nick, okay? I still believe in Saint Nick. Go ahead and sweep something down the chimney for me, honey. I don't actually have a chimney, so I don't actually know if that like actually works, but anyways, look. So after this crazy week, my friend hits me up, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, she was like, "Are you going out?" And I'm like, "No, I had no intention on going out." And she's like, "I kind of want to go out." And I'm like, "I kind of don't want to go out, but I'll go out if you want me to go out." Y'all, I didn't want to go out, but I still went up. Okay, I went out, and honestly, I was not feeling the vibe like that. But we haven't hung out in a while, so I was like, okay, let's go. And it was funny because I'm over here just sitting at the bar with a glass of wine on First Saturdays, okay? And I know like some of y'all don't know what First Saturday is, but First Saturday is basically it's cultural, okay, honey? Like it is shots and pouring up and 80s music and 90s music, and it is just we dancing. I love to dance. I love to dance, okay? So not the wine type of scene, but look, I'm not gonna lie. I told you I went on that date a couple weeks ago, and like I had 2 martinis. That's my limit. I'm not a real big alcohol drinker. I'm definitely more of a wine girly. I prefer to drink wine any chance I get. I love going to vineyards. In fact, I actually am hoping that one day I get to go on the Napa Valley wine train. So yeah, I don't know. I like to romanticize my life a little bit. I love that. I love softness. I love beautiful things. I love feeling like I can breathe. And First Saturday is not the place you breathe. That's the place where you turn up. And y'all, I was not in the turn up mood. But anyways, I'm minding my business and I'm over here with my wine and I'm just like, y'all, I wasn't even dressed. Like, I'm just like, I threw on a dress that actually I didn't even throw it on. I had it on all day and I just threw on a little denim jacket over it and some cute boots. And I was like, this is my outfit of the night. It is what it is. I'm not trying to be seen, okay? I'm just trying to relax. But I still got approached. And this is what's crazy. This guy started flirting with me. And honestly, to be honest, I actually don't think that he was flirting with me. Like, if I'm being completely real, like, it didn't come off like that. I think he felt out of place, to be honest, a little bit like I did. And I think he was just trying to make conversation. And I think I'm just like easy to approach. You know what I mean? I think I have a way of making people feel comfortable. And so I like that for me, actually. I love that for me because, baby, I do not know how to flirt, okay? Like, I am someone, you have to be very, very clear with me about your intentions because otherwise it goes over my head. I don't pick up on the subtle clues. I don't know how to read any of that. I just am in my zone and in my world, and I'm like, I'm following your lead. Because, baby, if you leave it to me, we're going to be... We started talking, right? We were talking. We were having a good time. And the thing is, I started noticing he was asking me about my friend. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, I'm not going to lie. My friend, she's a tough cookie, okay? She's a tough cookie. She is not easy to approach. But I was like, I'm finna go ahead and play a little bit of Cupid. So anyways, I got them together. You know, they started talking and vibing. And I love that. I'm not saying that it's going to go anywhere. Like, it was one night. We'll see how that goes. I was just there to support, to witness, and to observe. And I love that. I am the best wingman you could possibly have. Here's the thing, though. She was like flirting with this guy. This guy was flirting with her, but I seen her go into a little bit of defensive mode. And she's like, girl, I could buy my own drinks. I don't need a man to buy this, and I don't need a man to do that. And look, I'm not here shaming her for that because I'm going to be honest. I recognize a healed part of me in her. And I'm not saying she's not healed. But what I am saying is that I don't live in that space anymore. Like, I know that I don't need a man to do anything. In fact, to be honest, most women, we are successful. We are a little bit established. We're out here trying to do our big ones. So we don't necessarily need things from people the way that people always think or expect, you know? And that's not taking away from a man's role or taking away from like a woman's role or what they're able to give or what they're not able to give. It's just, you know, I get it. And a lot of women, here's the thing, like, we have grown up in survival mode, regardless if you want to acknowledge that or not. We grew up in survival mode. We were never taught how to receive or what it actually looks like to be protected and provided for. You know, we were taught to hustle, to make things happen, to lead, to take on extra responsibility, to overgive. And so I'm like, I get that. I get that in her. But, you know, I had to tell her, I was like, it's not about you needing anything. It's about allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to just enjoy being treated nice, you know? I think that's what I want to talk about, okay? Because this year, I really realized something about myself. I want peace, which I have, but I want home, which I have, and I want soft, which I have, but it took a lot of unlearning. I'm not gonna lie. So after that night, combined with everything else this week, I found myself sitting with this question. What does a soft life actually mean for women who grew up in survival? For the longest time, I thought a soft life meant somebody stepping in and taking care of everything financially, as do a lot of women. And I am not going to lie. I chased that idea in past relationships, okay? Because in my head, it's like, if I, I still kind of believe it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, if I'm over here focused on finances and I'm over here like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna pay for this and how are we gonna do for this and da-da-da, my masculine energy is popping out, baby, and I can't give that love to you because I don't have that. But as I've got older and as I've allowed myself to sit down with some things and sit with me, I started realizing I am a lover girl, baby, okay? Truly, I am a lover girl. But while I was out there trying to be a lover girl, chasing a man who simply just was focused on his finances, what I kept getting instead of softness was inconsistency, imbalance, disrespect, overgiving, over-explaining, over-surviving, And it honestly took me a long time to see why. When you grow up in survival, scarcity becomes normal. Your nervous system learns I'm only safe if I'm in control. I'm only valuable if I'm productive. I'm only secure if I don't need anyone. So when real support shows up, your chest gets tight, your guard goes up instantly, and your mind goes, what's the catch? Look, I'm going to be so real with y'all. That date that I went on a couple weeks ago, I was in that mentality for a moment. You know, I was real like, I don't know what you want from me, but you ain't finna get it here, honey. Like that masculine energy was popping up to protect me. And before I went in to go meet him, I had to go ahead and ground myself back into a little reality. I'm like, and I said out loud, I was like, universe, I'm going to let you surprise me tonight, honey. Because here's the thing. That survival mode, that's not your intuition. That's conditioning. So this year, my work hasn't just been about doing more. It's been about learning how to receive without feeling like I owe the universe or anybody else my soul. You see, real masculine energy is structure, protection, direction, containment, consistency. Real feminine energy is flow, creativity, intuition, emotion, which I have a lot of, receptivity, and nurturing. Majority of my lifetime, I have lived in heavy masculine energy, as a lot of us have. Provider, protector, planner, problem solver, everything in one body. So this year, the shift didn't happen because a man stepped in. It happened because I allowed myself to step back. When I first returned to music, I was still in hustle mode. How much does this cost? What do I need to buy? How fast can I make this work? It took the fun out of it. Then one day I asked myself, why do I actually want to create? And the answer wasn't fame. It wasn't numbers. It wasn't because I believed that I'm going to blow up and get famous one day. It was love. I genuinely love to create. So I moved anyways. Messy, imperfect, scared. I'm still scared when I create. But what I noticed is allowing myself to move, that's when things started aligning. I stopped creating from pressure and started creating from pleasure. And that changed everything. I'm starting to actually really see that in my music, to be honest, you guys, because a lot of my earlier songs talk about pressure. Like my very first single, Pressure. Pressure when I walk, that's law. Spirit on guard, can't fall. Money in my hand, that's raw. Crown on my head, that's God. That was all about pressure. It was how I am the pressure, how this. But I've realized a lot of my earlier songs talked about pressure because that's where I was creating from. I was creating from constantly feeling like I had to hustle and I didn't have time to breathe. Your girl's still single, like big single. But even without a partner, provision still showed up in my life. Not always the way I wanted, but exactly the way that I needed. Provision this year looked like creative doors opening right when I was tired. People speaking life into me when my confidence was low. Protection I didn't even know that I needed. Rest breaking into my routine. Alignment replacing my anxiety. Sometimes provision isn't money. Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's clarity. Sometimes it's being held emotionally until you're strong again. What I had to learn about receiving is a skill. And for survival women, it's one of the hardest skills to learn. This year, I had to unlearn guilt around being supported, suspicion around ease, feeling like I had to earn rest through exhaustion. I had to practice saying yes without over explaining, letting help come without demanding proof, letting people pour into me without shrinking back. My nervous system didn't recognize safety at first, but I stayed anyways. So I told you guys about how I went on a trip to Austin, Texas. And when I went on this trip, it was back in March. What I didn't realize is that I was in a transitional period of my life. I got to this point in my life where I'm just like, God, please take the wheel because I have no idea what I'm doing. I had lost so many friends. I lost people that I genuinely cared about. I lost myself. Y'all, I was completely broken open and I couldn't understand what for. I was actually supposed to go to Austin, Texas in February to go make some cupcakes for my cousin's birthday. But I had missed the plane by 1 minute and I ended up in Austin, Texas in March instead, on God's timing, not mine. So while I was in Austin, Texas, one of my family members, he said something to me. He said, no one is actually self-made. Somewhere along the way, somebody helps. And when you're in survival, you don't see community. You only see responsibility. And I had to learn how to finally let myself be supported without feeling like I have to repay everyone emotionally this year. It was brand new for me, but it feels amazing. And before I close this vlog, I actually want to share something really special with you. This is a work in progress, so don't judge me too hard. But I've been writing a new song called Spoil Me. And this one goes out to my lover girls, my ambitious women, my survival mode queens, my providers, my ones who always handle everything alone. Because I found myself asking this question while writing. What do you give to a woman who has spent her whole life being the provider? What do you give to a woman who might not even know how to receive anymore? Not necessarily a woman who has everything, but a woman who has had to be everything. And the answer isn't money, although, baby, I do love me some money, honey. I love going shopping. It isn't flexing, although I do love my style, honey. And it's not just gifts, although I definitely love some gifts. I don't know. I think my love language is a little chaotic because, baby, I don't know what my love language is. You're just going to have to try all of them and see which one sticks. But no, in all seriousness, it's safety, softness, presence, consistency, care without conditions. So yeah, and also preferably phone calls, not texts. I'm not a big texter, y'all. Maybe that's just me. I don't know how to talk or hold a conversation through text. Like, you either got to see me face to face or you might have to pick up that phone and give me a call, baby. Because, yeah, I'm starting to learn that's just, texting is not my strong point, okay? This is for the women who don't need to be spoiled, but would really, really love to be. All right, I'm a little nervous, but let me give y'all just a little preview. This is Spoil Me, work in progress. I like nice, fancy things. Do it right, talk nice to me. Yeah, I got mine, but spoil me right. Keep the pressure soft, keep the money tight. Spoil me right, I don't ask twice. Keep it classy, but match my price. Down peace, but I'm still that hype. If you gon' love me like spoil me right. Silk sheets, gold rings, I manifest that life. Never chase a man, but I love when he's white. He said you don't need me, I said you right, but still, Walk in the room, make the angels proud. I build, I grind, I own my crown. But baby, match my pace, don't slow me down. Luxuries earn not luck or fame. I learned my worth through loss and pain. Now I want peace, not petty games. Just loyalty, drift, and designer frames. I like nice, ice, fancy things. Do it right, talk nice to me. Yeah, I got mine, but spoil me right. Keep the pressure soft, keep the money tight. That is what I have for you guys today. I hope something in this video resonated with y'all.